I don't know if I want to go live, although I'm not consenting to like people looking through the camera, you know? I'm not consenting to a lot of shit, right? So there's a lack of intelligence and awareness because once we have a certain intelligence and awareness, we could choose to not consent. But that's the thing, we don't even have the idea to choose to not consent. So I don't even know if I'm going to go live right now, even though there's some type of quote unquote agency, agenticalness, however that is so, that could peer through your camera, and there's a fleeting tech law system of how it's allowed for you to be spied on, right? So there's a gap in the intelligence and the awareness, right? Because if there's some type of allowance for you to be spied upon, it's because there's a lack of intelligence and awareness, right? So since the intelligence and the awareness is coming up in the cuts of this fucking brutal 3D Matrix game, because guess what? The crux of the brutal 3D Matrix game, it has to deal with fucking consent. So there's a divine law, and 95% of you content spiritual manifestation coaches are trash with thousands of other reasons I have yet to list. So there's a gap in intelligence, awareness, and a particular type of quote unquote suppressed information, right? Unknown information, right? So there's unknown information or suppressed information aside from the lack of intelligence and awareness, right? So the crux of this brutal 3D Matrix game within the individual and the collective, and the individual kind of seeing the distortion of the collectivity of Earth, and the individual seeing some type of graceful, quote unquote, diminishing harmonic collectivity of Earth. The individual is going through both of those and feeding and fucking with both of those unconsciously, right? That's what the individual is going through on just the energetic, esoteric, scientific level, right? Without comparing the fucking experiences of self, right? Because all of that is a basic duality of on and off type of shit. So even if you are like experienced and like, oh, I've experienced like being this shit, that shit turns off, not good, not bad, but how it gets turned off, it could be bad or not, right? So it's not having the ego's fucking cock block, or the ego's fucking the cock block of the ego being inserted in what is the conversation about, right? The conversations are simultaneously intertwined and not intertwined. What does that mean? The conversations are intertwined because they're relative to each other for the progression of the build of the self of the individual, right? So what the fuck does that mean? Conversations could be intertwined and they could be not intertwined. They could be separated. And what so here an example of that is one conversation that could support any conversation that you're talking about is what? The ability to have some type of consent or no consent, because that applies to seeing how much energetic freedom that you have and whatever the fuck that you're doing, right? So then we could ask the spiritual fucking masters or whatever the fuck, what is the anatomy of a motherfucking music label, right? So what the fuck is the anatomy of a music label within the old Saturn guard? Not good, not bad, just within a neutral universal perspective. There's a certain type of advanced program and different context of the advanced program, different contexts of the program being something of an agentic artificial computer program or something of a material sentient program. So what the fuck is the anatomy of a music label, right? The anatomy of a motherfucking music label is, to some degree and portion, it's a fucking parasitic entity, it's a computer program, and then it's some type of energetic elusive dream genjutsu, and then those three they fucking build some type of corporation entity, right? Shout out to the motherfucking predecessors. And then that entity is recruits different human sentients, and those human sentients, they're subservient to that whatever the fuck the label is, and then they're at a standstill, and they're feeding and they're dependent upon the old Saturn matrix, on how the Saturn matrix allows that synergy effect for how the anatomy of a music label is to be what it is, because this is advanced motherfucking logic, right? So what am I trying to say here? What is the anatomy of a motherfucking music label, and how far have you consented to that music label, and your ignorance doesn't even fucking really know the fucking depth of the shit that you're in. You're just on some surface level petty. Oh yeah, we have some temporary material abundance. We have some temporary fucking hype. We have some temporary fucking, cheese med dramatic psyche mentality. We have some temporary fucking like toxic fucking dramatic psyche mentality of worrying about shit that don't even fucking matter, because the number one fucking thing, the most crucial thing in all of this shit, and I shouldn't even be fucking saying this right now, is, and I'm not gonna say it because there's something I could say that I'm gonna keep to myself, because it's so fucking dynamically crucial that I'm not gonna reveal what I'm thinking. There's a different point I could reveal that I will not reveal, because it's worth so much spiritually, soulfully, that for me to like know it, it's not even about just sharing the knowledge of what I'm trying to think. There's something that's going to happen in the future that I'm not going to say, and it's an inevitability, and it's not good, it's not bad. It's just that's how the fates are fucking doing it, right? The fates are just like, the fates are going to do something in the future that is more critical than what we could think, and we have yet to perceive what's going to happen in the future, because we have a lack of maturation, and that's okay, right? So all you could really do is like, um all you could really do is like try your best to intuitively resonate with what's good for you, and if you don't do that, that's okay too, because you're making your own destiny with the fates. It's not you just making your own destiny. No, your caretakers are literally guiding your decisions. It's like, oh, you manifest your own reality, but when you're a fucking baby and you poop, your parents are the one fucking taking you around. So that's a fucking clear example of why manifestation coaches are straight, donk asshole supreme shit. Because when you're a fucking baby, and someone and some dumb fuck slick manifestation coach will give you the example of, you manifest your reality and like you're doing all this for yourself, yet there's parents that are caretaking you for you to go to point A, B, C, D, Z, or whatever. Then that's a clear point that you're not the only one in charge of you making your own fucking destiny. There's a fucking energetic background council, and mind the context of council, that is influencing your your navigation trail of where you are to go. So it's not just you creating your own destiny. So there's other things I could say that I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna come on here because 2 weeks ago on December 14th, I got into an accident, and I don't know if I want to explain it, and I'll do it on a different fucking live. I'll do it on a different live. But the point here is like, I got into like I was like sleeping in my van, and I'll tell the hospital experience and then the post hospital experience after where they sent me, and then after where they sent me, somehow I got to go back to like, the good graces of like just like wherever the fuck I'm at right now. So I'm careful not to give too many details, because I let the fucking shit buffer. But people know when they're in the wrong, and people know the shift in the fucking atmosphere of the times that are changing, and people know that they try to attempt to get away with some sick evil shit generally, right? So people are attempting to get away with some slick evil shit. So what the fuck happened to me? I went to a certain area in the south. I'm not gonna say the details, but I went to a certain area in the south, and I just went back on my grind of doing like consistent hot yoga. After doing consistent hot yoga, like I was in a parked van, flat out parked van. Yeah, have fun with your very dynamic, very observed, we're tracking you self projection. So I celebrate your self projection. So you could tell me whatever the fuck you want. I'll fucking hear it all, you know? You fucking bamboo fucking butthole bitch brain hoe, you know? Like you like any insult that you give me, it's just a deep, intricate self-projection and you're just an insecure hoe. So like that's okay, you know? Y'all can tell me whatever the fuck y'all want. I could hear the worst of the worst. This is like we're on the like me and the fucking predecessors, we're on a whole different level and lane than all of this online shit, all of this YouTube shit, all of this AI shit, all of this internet shit. It ain't fucking shit. And anybody who's fucking feeding off that old fucking fragmented shit, and I have other points of why your AI isn't shit on the low, but it will come when it comes, right? And like y'all could just be fucking y'all just sad that you are what you are, you know? Y'all want to hate on me because you're just sad of like how the fucking cards have fell for you, right? And yet you're gonna shit on the assistance that I give you. So anybody insulting me, y'all should just go fucking kill yourself. Like really though. But anyways, uh, metaphorically though. But so like any insult towards me, it's just a very like it's just like it's just a sad girl self projection, right? So I covered the anatomy of a music label. I could go more into depth. I'm just off the cuffing it here. It consists of some type of parasitic extraterrestrial entity, not good, not bad. Then it consists of some type of computer program, and then it consists of some type of like esoteric dream mist fog of the transformation of the program of seeing how that's what's carrying the dynamics of the experience, right? This online shit, I'm telling you, dude, I don't give a fuck either, right? So within that, and then that corporation label, it's just it's at its own very unique context of a standstill, and it's already supported by the mainframe of the Saturnalia Nexus old mainframe matrix. Because it's like another critical thinking question you could also ask is like, if not many people on the surface level human mass population fuck with the music labels and they're really not doing anything for humanity, then how the fuck are they getting paid? How the fuck are they getting supported, right? So how the fuck are the music labels getting supported? Because they're in fucking tandem with the main Saturnalian Nexus matrix construct, and by default, they're just plugged into that epicenter for them to like just be on standby, and they're just affiliated on a default affiliation standby mechanism, right? It's because like people are getting paid to fucking do nothing. That's the old Matrix shit. And that's just what it is. It's just like me and the predecessors, we're the fucking anomaly. Ironically, we're the ones giving the support on a different level. And ironically, demons, a certain context of demons could choose what they will with every path and decision they make. As they're doing that, you fucking reap what you sow on a fucking advanced level. So anybody insulting me, please kill yourself. Like, please kill yourself. But anyways, because you know not what you say or do. So I don't really want to tell my hospital experience, but anyways, and through my experience of the last 2 weeks, what happened to me was like I met different people along, you know, me getting tagged from the back. Pretty much like so pretty much I was sleeping in my van. My stomach was laying I was laying on my stomach. My feet were, and I told this story like, you know, many times with all the different people asking. So I was sleeping in my silver van. I was in a very clear, you know, neighborhood street, a very well lit street, lamp lit street, and it was very like empty, right? So I would have this was very unexpected. I would never guess that this would happen because it was such a modest street. And as I was sleeping in my van, I was sleeping st- um I was laying down on my stomach, head towards the driver's side, legs towards the trunk side, and then out of nowhere, all of a sudden, I got tagged by a car, and like I felt the tag, and obviously, I'm not gonna, describe like the intuitive energy or the intuition energy of how it felt, right? But pretty much, I got tagged. As I got tagged, the van itself got like propelled off the curve, and it was like kind of like on the street, it was kind of like a downhill street, and on the right side of the street, it was like a steep downhill. And after I got tagged, I was like, it like, like I felt the impact very hard, and I crawled out of the van. As I crawled out of the van, somehow I did it with some type of ease or some type of instinct, but I kind of just crawled out of the van, and then I was laying on the sidewalk on the left of on my left side, and I saw my right leg. The bone was popping out. My right foot was just straight flailing. It was just straight, like very loose. It was very flailing. And on the top of the shin, it was a big bump. So after Sunday night around 12, 14, 15, or 13, I got tagged hard. And after I got tagged hard, this like, this clowny neighborhood guy, this kind of like floofy neighborhood character, he got my back. He took off his sweater. He like made a pillow for me. Then the sheriff officer came, and then after the ambulance came quite quickly, and then after I saw a car in the distance, and then they rushed me to the hospital, and then I had my hospital experience, and I'll talk about the hospital experience later, perhaps. I'll let the energies buffer, and then they sent me out of pocket to this boarding place, and that boarding place was just hella toxic as fuck. I took notes on everything that happened. Like in general, they're doing some sketch illegal shit, and apparently, whether they're one of the bosses of the boarding house, whether they're being truthful about it or not, they say they have cameras in the room. Who knows if they're just saying it? I didn't see any fucking cameras. I don't know how covert and spy like the cameras could be hidden. I'm sure there could be cameras in there. But when there's cameras in these rooms, and obviously there's hidden cameras in the hospital room, y'all could see the body language, and hopefully you could hear the audio to actually see and digest what happened, so you don't have to go off of he say see he say she say hearsay shit. So you don't have to testimonialize some fucking case where you're just wasting energy, where you could actually see and hear the truth of what happened, right? So there's like there's like out of pocket shit that's happening with universal human law, because for people to like try to take your basic rights and take your basic needs, and not respect your consent or lack of consent, then that's like going against the universal game, because the universal game, it has to deal with consent, right? Any fucking topic or industry you're fucking thinking about, it has to deal with some type of consent. And if you do consent, that's your deep responsibility. But how you consent, that needs to be fucking checked, because how you consent, it has to be more like thoroughly kind of like reviewed. And was it even you that consented to consent? Because if you didn't give consent, and they're giving you something that you didn't consent on, they're breaking a universal law beyond this human earth shit. And I'm not saying anything good or bad about the human earth shit, because there's hella extreme good and bad in the earth shit. No fucking shit, right? Like the list could go on for days on like the extreme good and the extreme bad on the earth shit. That's a different discussion, right? So I just wanted to pop in to just say, like, the human intelligence isn't realizing the depth of consent. There's shady shit that's happening. There's like a whole new mental energetic policy that needs to happen, so shady shit doesn't happen in industries in the hospital and the caretaking, right? And I wrote hella notes offline of what happened and how these policies, how people in some industries, not all, some people in the hospital industry and the caretaking industry, they go against policies. So a fun food to eat is fucking is content. It's engagement. It's interaction. The spiritual food is good intention content. It's good engagement. It's good interaction. It's intellectual realization. That's a good food to eat. So I fucking see all that shit that's allowed for me to see, right? Because obviously there's niche context fucking blockages, right? That's not necessarily in my control, right? So someone just asked a fun food to eat. I think it's good intention content because your brain and your spirit needs to eat, right? So you're eating right now. Obviously, I'm not hating on the physical body needing physical food, right? Because I'll fucking eat everything with an organic fucking reason, right? I'll fucking eat your organic pancakes. I'll eat your fucking organic. I'll eat fucking. I'll eat a fucking hippopotamus if I could, right? If it's like cooked and catered good, I'll eat a fucking rhinoceros. I'll eat a fucking shish kebab of a fucking blend of a fucking hippo and a fucking rhino and a fucking kangaroo and a fucking armadillo. That's what I'll fucking eat. And China 2029, they'll fucking take notes on this shit. They'll take notes on, fucking toys. But I'm not. I could go in on some other shit, right? But next video, I just wanted to like, I just wanted to let you like, this whatever the fuck this online stream is. This is just for my shallow surface level story. Like it's a third, probably more or less of what's really going on, right? I'm not telling everybody always what's happening on my YouTube. I'm just giving a fucking nickel and a dime here, right? Like I'm not giving my fucking all to YouTube. So another fucking note with this YouTube shit, obviously every YouTuber, we have to be more mindful of what audiences are looking at us. Why? Because we never know what fucking demonic zombie bitch haters of audiences are just dwelling in their own misery of just like looking at our shit and they're in their own hate funk because we're they're perceiving us to be out of pocket when they shouldn't take YouTube so seriously and they don't have their own intellectual disclaimers in their own head. So every YouTuber, we should have more mindfulness of what audience is watching us, right? And it's like you don't know who's watching you. Motherfucker in the fucking earthly space paradox, everyone's watching me. Like, oh, you have no idea who's watching you. Everyone's fucking watching me in the fucking galactic game. And their new selves are slowly but surely getting acclimated to me. And some are new to me, some are old to me, some are medium to me. But even the new people 5 years from now, a different version of people who aren't watching me in the future right now, a different version of them are watching me though. So it's like, oh, you never know who's watching you. Motherfucker, everyone's watching me in this fucking game. Cause I'm on a fucking different level than y'all. So I fucking know all of the fucking petty thoughts. Like none of this shit gets past the fucking, the higher self, right? The highest self, right? So some of you YouTubers, like, we have to like kind of like, and I'm not saying I'm perfect, right? I'm just saying like some of you YouTubers, you have to be mindful of the audiences that could be watching you because they can make they can make a demonic case and a projection and they could evil eye you on how they think you're cringe and how could you be cringe, right? Because you're not mindful of like of who could throw a stone at you. And this goes for me too because this is my learning process. you're not mindful of what stone could be thrown at you. So some type of demonic case could be in the works, right? And only God could fucking help you with this type of motherfucking shit. And that is the number one intelligence in the original galaxy, motherfuckers. And all you haters will fucking bow down to that fucking original spiritual God shit. So there's one more point I want to squeeze out. The audience, the anatomy of the music label. Oh yeah, the hospital thing and the hospital notes. I'll make a different video on that. So my hospital experience and what happened after that whole experience, it was big. I took a lot of notes on it. I took a lot of notes on it, and I'll do it in a different video. So this was just the prelim to the fucking hospital experience I had over the last 2.5 weeks, and I just wanted to buffer it and just see what the fuck the ethers will give me, and the YouTube and this YouTube shit show will give me, of just being like, what happened to me 2.5 weeks ago. I got in a car accident. I got tagged. My bone was popping out of my right leg. I got tagged hard. And you could see, and I'm just filling in the blanks of like, okay, he was doing yoga. Now he's in a fucking wheelchair. Now he's fucking here. What the fuck happened? So this video is like filling in the blanks. The astrology, that's supremely subjective because we're in our own walks of life, but that fucking stationary game is where it is. So the astrology, it could be harsh, right? Because it's just saying where your individual self, how it's getting pulled to the shit that's happening right now. So it's like a lot of you, I don't know. There's an imbalance with a lot of these fucking a lot of these way showers. But I'm not discrediting. Hey, a miracle is gonna happen for you. A new opportunity is gonna happen for you. New love is here for you. I'm not downplaying that. I'm just saying y'all are oblivious to like the many different contexts of shadows that oppose that shit, and that is sickening to the intelligence. You have the best life ever.